Now, I want to talk about how to connect with Sola and Tito. Sola and Tito are twins. Their universe is run by the body of music theory, and they correspond with the right and left side of the brain. To make music, you must have both parts. Sola loves to sing and dance, so she's like the symphony. She's expressive and creative, and she loves to tell stories through music. Sola feels music in her heart. She loves to teach and compose and perform. Now, Tito loves to count and march. He's like the conductor. He's rhythmic and consistent, and he loves the rules of music theory. Tito feels music in his hands and feet, and he loves to analyze and share tips and conduct. And as we go through the supplemental series, you will see how effective Sola and Tito will be in your teaching as teaching tools to use with your students. You can't have melody and rhythm without tempo and dynamics and time signature. So use Sola and Tito as a way to personify and clarify the parts of music. When talking about music, ask, perhaps like, how would Tito play that chord? Oh, okay, now play it like Sola. And can you make them dance together in your music? Now, this technique takes pressure off the student. Sometimes it's called the magic if. If you were Sola, what would you do? It distracts the students from the details of execution and lets them use their informal instincts because they have a body of knowledge to draw from that becomes instinct over time. And so they don't have to think about every little thing all the time. So Sola and Tito will guide you through mastering music theory. Now, just on the way that I've described Sola and Tito, I am totally a Sola. However, there are times when I need to turn into my Tito part, to find that balance, not only in my teaching, but in my life as well. My daughter is like a super Sola. So when dealing with my daughter, I definitely have to step into Tito mode to find the balance. So Sheila is definitely a Tito, but she is also a Sola. And so we kind of have a little bit of both, but definitely I think we lean one way versus the other. So let's have a little fun and just throw in the chat box, are you a Sola or are you a Tito? So go ahead and enter that in the chat box. I'm curious to see who's a Sola and who's a Tito. Thanks for sharing your personal Sola and Tito with me. So now we're going to talk about connect chords. In the supplemental workbook on page 22, you heard about the root quality chord symbol. Now I want you to watch Jillian connect chords from her written work into sound. So Jillian, you did a good job. You wrote out actually on the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, right? Every single note, you wrote a triad on top of it. And I noticed that you're using the root quality chord symbol. So now we're actually going to do a little game. But before we do our game, that's in our level 2 workbook, let's just talk about that. So tell me, can you just play me a C major triad? Beautiful. So now, who is the root of that triad?
That is C.
And the root is always the?
Bottom of the triad.
Bottom of the triad. So we're just playing tonic triads, and we're playing them all in root position, which means they are all lines or all?
Spaces.
Spaces, absolutely. So I'm going to have you go ahead and play what you've written out here on the whiteboard, and I want you to identify the root quality chord symbol as you're playing it. So the first chord you're going to play is
C major.
C major, and then
D minor.
D minor.
E minor. F major. G major.
G major.
And E minor.
Very good. And are all of those chords also in the key of C major?
Yes.
Yes, because we didn't have any black keys, right?
No.
So every one of these tonic chords is also in the key of C major. Mm-hmm. Excellent. And what is that called when we write C and D, M? That's called the root Yes, root position, and it's called the root quality chord symbol. So root means the,
quality symbol.
okay, and so the root would be the bottom note. So play me the root of C chord. C, and the quality of that C chord is major, minor.
Major.
Major. And what does the little M mean after a triad like that?
If there is an M, that means it is minor. So if I played D, I wrote DM.
Very good.
Because it's minor.
Thanks, Jillian.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play our game.
Okay.
Tonic Mountain. On page 28 of the Level 2 Supplemental Workbook, you will learn about phrase ending on stable or unstable scale degrees. Use after Prep 2 Rudiments, page 117. Now, a phrase within a melody may end on an unstable scale degree, 2 or 7, and a phrase at the end of a melody may end on a stable scale degree, so 1 or 3. So in question 1, question 1 indicates to copy the C major scale and write the scale degrees below each note. So now we're just getting our degree numbers. Question 2 indicates to name the major key. Then identify the scale degree at the end of each phrase as unstable, scale degree 2 or 7, or stable, scale degree 1 or 3. And then you can sing or play each melody. So let's look at the first one. The first melody is in the key of C major. And after looking at the last note of the phrase, it is an unstable, or is it a stable scale degree? In the key of C major, D is the second degree. So the answer is unstable, scale degree 2. The melody ends on C, which would be stable degree 1. Now the second melody is in the key of F major. So the first phrase ends on G, an unstable, scale degree 2, and the last phrase ends on A. And in the key of F major, that is a stable scale degree 3. Now it's important for you to play these pieces with your students so they can actually hear the difference between a stable and an unstable scale degree. Now, when we understand phrases, you want to connect chords and melody. Listen as Jillian connects these two concepts, just using her imagination and the two concepts that she has just learned. So we're just going to use C major, D minor, F major, and G major, and just kind of ad lib a little with your right hand. And let's see what you come up with, Jillian.